Come on. Come on. Yes! Oh, not the sheep. Armor's damaged. What happens if I hide in here? Sorry, Mr. Chicken. It'll go away, right? Right? Oh no, my house is on fire. Oh, that's not good. Also, because the curiosity is getting the better of me, burn down the forest. I thank you for paying to fix my door. Beautiful. But oh, I actually do need you, don't I? Wing. Don't ask me how I did that. I don't know if I could do that again. Oh. I think that counts as one of these. I also never told my... I'm cuckoo, cuckoo. Okay. It's a good day. It can only get better. Well, actually, it could get worse. But I'm gonna think positively. Alright, JJ redeemed the flex, and we're gonna thank you for the raid. I really appreciate it. Oh. Also, a little bit of a stretch there. Okay. Thank you so much for the raid and the extra life stuff.
We can help you with crate sales, crate deliveries, messages, invites. You just holler when you've made up your mind. You know where you want your crate, right? Just place it down, then swing by the checkout.
I have many questions. But I was afraid of that. Is her face? Yes, her face is a mailbox.
Much obliged. We just had the best customer. Later then. Guess I'd better get started on that paper.
I have no words. Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to do that.
Oh god, the lag.
I know.
Okay, we're good.
We did it. We did it.
We got the monster out.
Everyone gets free coins.
Right.
Deja vu, I have seen this place before.
We'll do a full screen one while we're waiting. So we got... Oh. And the rolled up sleeves. It is very interesting when the songs intersect, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But welcome on in, everyone. Tons congratulations on being first. Pause button and JJ, welcome on in as well. It is Tuesday, November 12th, 2024, and a new game came out today. Did you know that a new Tetris game came out today? Should have asked Pixel about it. probably knew about it. But I thought it'd be a good idea. Obi has no voice and Doug is busy, so it's just me today. So I figured I'd do some Tetrising. Because who doesn't love some good Tetris? Especially, we're going to get a little bit of a history lesson in the different types of Tetris that have come out through the years. If you haven't seen, Tetris Forever came out on the Switch, Xbox, PC, and PS, I think? PS5? I don't know. I know it came out on Switch. I found out originally because I have Nintendo of America's YouTube videos on notifications. So I was out and about and I saw the notification that it came out, or I saw that there was a trailer for it. And so I was like, so when does that come out? And then I look at the description of the video. Oh, it's out now. Guess I know what I'm doing tonight. So, without further ado, let's get some started on some Tetris. And maybe do some learning while we're at it. So let's get the game going. I already have it installed. We're playing it on Switch today. It's so funny. Tetris Forever doesn't actually show up on the game list on Twitch yet. So that's why it just says I'm playing regular Tetris. I might have to change it for each game, maybe. Or just leave it as Tetris. I could do that too. I'm excited for this. I like Tetris. It's one of those games that I can vibe to. I don't get too stressed about it's Tetris. I have the original Game Boy version around here somewhere. Okay. Tetris is the one game that's still going to be around when all the other games are gone. Hank Rogers. Play Tetris, my friends. Alexei Pajitnov. That's the guy who created it. Tetris Forever. 1985 to 2024. Isn't that crazy? Play Tetris. Begin your journey through 40 years of Tetris in the timelines below, or jump right into the game by pressing Y. So we got perfect game. I guess we're going to start. I guess we're going to do the timeline. Let's check the options. Gold Master Series. Interactive documentary format brings archival materials, interview videos, playable games, and more into a single cohesive, chronological, and contextual experience, the video game equivalent of a documentary film. We hope you enjoy this new approach to archival game releases, and hope you look forward to future installments in the Gold Master series from Digital Eclipse. That's interesting. So, we have an interactive documentary. Interesting. I guess we're going to start here then. Chapter 1, The Perfect Game. Origin of Tetris. For over 40 years, the game known as Tetris has enticed us, confounded us, and occupied our brains. Long after we put down the controller. It's hard to imagine a world without Tetris, but how did we get here? The Perfect Game. First created in the Soviet Union in 1984, Tetris has spread to all corners of the world, but its globe-spanning journey would not be an easy one. Do we play the videos? Let's play at least the first one and go from there. It's the guy. It's so crazy to think that Tetris has been... It's been a, like, a culture thing. Like, so everybody knows what Tetris is. You have it on your phone, you have it on your Game Boys, your PlayStations, your PCs, everything. It's what I...
Great is not the word for Tetris. The right word for Tetris is...
I'm partially doing reacty content-y thingy, so it's okay for me to stream this, right?
I'm at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. I stand in line and play Tetris for the first time.
It's really the perfect game.
Had the original
Once
Game
you
Boy
play
Tetris.
like, it's part
And
of
then
your
the other
DNA.
one that I really liked
play
was
other
Tetris World on the
games,
original
and I find
Xbox.
myself standing in line at the Tetris machine again, and I play again.
I didn't have the NES version.
Perfectly balanced.
The fourth
There was
time
also a
I'm
version
standing in this line,
on,
I'm really hooked
well,
on this game.
the Xbox
That's it.
Tetris
I'm going to go to
Connected
the Soviet Union, and I'm not coming back
was,
till I have these rights.
a big one.
Tetris is for everybody, all genders.
But yeah,
all
Digital Eclipse has done
ages.
great stuff
the game transcends
in
cultures,
preserving
it
games.
transcends language, and there's a whole Tetris effect that happens.
So,
you start seeing Tetris pieces everywhere.
I would
when you're
definitely
packing a
probably
car or
play
when you
this a
wanna
lot.
Organize something.
You look at all the
Tetris,
different
it's
versions of games that
harmonically
have come out.
everything comes together. The thing that
Does it?
makes
I wonder if
Tetris
Digital
Tetris
Eclipse
is the
knows
well
what the next
and the pieces.
game like this
There's
is going to
nothing
come out.
associated with Tetris except geometry, which is universal.
It's no character. You don't have attitude to the pieces. They are all good. It allows you to concentrate on your activity. It only is a game.
It's not a destructive game, it's a constructive game.
Are we going to learn
You're
life lessons?
Basically building lines of blocks.
It's illusion because what you generally do, you don't construct anything. As a matter of fact, you keep destroying the stuff you
The
build.
human
I love
need
that kind of
to
attention.
create order out
All
of chaos.
you
Maybe that's
see
why I like
is
this
the
game so
garbage.
much.
Your failures and mistakes.
You want to.
Also, how's the audio?
You play and play and play.
Is
to
it
get rid
in
of it,
sync?
to get it
That's the
lower.
big thing.
It really kind of speaks to the human need to want to create order out of chaos. Alexei figured it out, and that's why we're around 40 years later.
All my life is connected. to Tetris.
Apparently,
Every
when I
time
played Mario
designed
Party
a game, I never
last week,
satisfied
or
because
no,
I clearly
Sunday,
see that this game won't
my
be
game
at the
audio
same
was
level
off.
of Tetris.
The friendship that formed between
Hi,
Hank
Dipole.
Rogers and Alexei Pajitnov really, ultimately, brought Tetris to the rest
It looks
of the
like
world.
Brunt.
They're still best friends today.
I think our friendship goes deeper than
Palominos.
They're both programmers, and they both have the love of games.
Basically, I just live with it for my whole life.
So Palominos,
Time to time, strange stuff happened.
in 1953, mathematics professor Solomon Golom invented the term polyominoes to describe two-dimensional shapes created by connecting equally sized squares. He called shapes made of 3 squares trominos, 4 squares tetrominos, and 5 squares pentominos. Blech. I guess to be different than dominoes. Alexei Pajitnov, are we going to learn about him? We're going to learn about Alexei Pajitnov. And it is so funny. You think about the history and how not old it is.
I was a regular
That, like,
schoolboy
Lexi's still here,
and,
right?
My
I'm pretty
mother
sure.
was journalist in a cinema magazine, and when I got it,
So-
it was very fascinated. I fall in love with cinema that time.
It is off
And my
a
father
little
was
behind.
rather
I'm going to fix
writer.
it right now.
He published several books on different writers and philosophers. So they was humanitarian and
I'm gonna turn
I'm
this off,
kind of more
and then
technical
turn it back
person.
on.
Father
Typically that
hustles all
fixes
the
it.
time around.
Let me know if that fixed it.
around in
Please.
the house. So that's what managed me to
And
more
if my
mathematics
audio
in-
is unsync and the
in
game is
my-
not,
in my career.
that's a problem.
In 8th grade, I entering to the special program for mathematics.
Oh.
Then I get to the high school, to Moscow Institute of Aviation, how it called, and I
Excuse me.
graduated as a programmer,
The
mathematician.
mixer
researcher.
on my OBS looks like it should be fine. I missed what he was saying. In sync for the subtitles. Perfect, that's what we want. We got math. I hope Pixel's lurking. Happy
There
Tetris
is
Day.
a
Happy
professor
Tetris Day to
in
you,
United
too,
States, his
Bonzo.
name is Colomb, and he wrote the entire book about polymino.
Polyminos.
How many different shape you could build
Look at
out
how-
of several squares, put them together.
How interesting.
I love this book. It was
It makes
translated
math
and,
interesting, right?
One of my favorite book on my mathematical bookshelf. So 1 square produce just one piece. That's it. 2 square produce just one piece,
Pixel.
which traditionally called domino.
Domino,
That's where
stromino,
mino came from.
tetromino.
Trimino is just 2 pieces, the straight line and the ankle. Tetramino, we know it very well.
We know it there.
But
I would love to
with
get
the
that suit
pentamino,
jacket
it
that
start to be
Alexei's wearing
interesting,
with all the
because
Tetris
there are
pieces on it.
exactly 12 different shape you could make together with the 5 squares. So this Pentamina set,
It's so funny
I purchased
if you
it,
think about
I
it.
believe I was 14
This is
or
the guy
15.
who made the thing, who made the game.
And it was very simple stuff, but it was lots of enjoyment there. It is very creative stuff. So basically,
it.
it's all 12 shape, which you could make out of 5 squares.
So this is the
W or C or
not
X.
tetromino, pentaminos.
This one called F somehow. It's not F, but look like F. Basically, you could play with it.
Interesting.
You want to build something. It's
An
much
interactive
more rich
documentary is a
than
very
jigsaw
interesting
puzzle,
way to go
because
through a
jigsaw
game, though.
puzzle you could put together just only one way, and this stuff are much more, give you much more diversity. Something like that.
Okay.
The activity very much remind you how you play Tetris, isn't it?
Tis.
I did some kind of tower or whatever. But then the moment starts that you get tired and try to put it back in the box. And that's where the
There's a lot of
puzzle
mobile
starts.
games that do that kind of stuff
You
too.
feel that you're doing great and great, doing some progress, and all of a sudden you discover that you are very far from from the stuff to.
It's
to
so.
put it
I need to
together.
watch the
So
Tetris
we-
movie
we
too. That's
already
another
don't
thing that I
have the
haven't done
piece
yet
for this-
because it's
for
on
this,
Apple Plus or Apple,
here,
whatever the Apple thingy is.
here. That piece doesn't fit there as well, and then
Uh-oh.
you start to kind of do some kind of panic movement, take away this stuff and put them together.
Also,
and
this is
it
very similar
didn't
to
fit and
Table
so
Turf
on.
in Splatoon 3.
6 by 10 rectangle could be filled up. I calculated on my computer 14 million and
Oh.
some 300,000 something configuration. I don't
That's
remember exact
crazy.
number. And you could spend good half an hour before you finally got lucky and find the proper piece. I had several of them lying everywhere in my house. So once
Okay.
and twice a year, I found this box and enjoy it, and then put it back, and that's it. So, wow, I forget. how
Alexi
to
seems
do
like a
this.
cool person.
So wasn't very something really special and whatever for me. Tutu. Got it.
Tadoo. Well, there you go. So, and then computer gaming. Interesting. So this is actually the whole. Okay. Interesting. So we're going through talking about the emergence of Tetris, right? So here's the recreation of the original Tetris. I'm gonna play it. Let's do the monochrome green. I don't speak Russian. Oh. What are you talking about? Anyone speak Russian? Can translate what's going on screen? This Virtual Boy. That would be something. I like that they're just like, oh yeah, here's a recreation of the very, very first Tetris that he made on his Russian computer. We're not going to translate it for you. Right? Yeah. Is it getting faster? I can't tell. Oh, I made a mistake. While yes, you're right, Dipole, that it needs no interpretation. I want to know what the text on the screen says. Just out of curiosity. It is different because down doesn't speed up your drop. It's a hard drop. Hello? Why are they all blocks? Okay. They were trying to fit in the square hole. Bop. To think that this is based on math concepts. It's just... Okay, I'm thinking that the top is lines cleared. The track. I'm not sure if the 2 is the level. Okay, the beeping. Oops. I did bad. Oh, ran out of time. No. I'm guessing this is a high schooler. Bun. D. Oh snap! I got the high score. Yeah or hit. Oh. There's a 1985 version too. It's the same game. It is basically the same game. Let's quit out. Can I get out? Yes. Okay, so we saw Tetris. That was the first Tetris on the Electronica 60.
At some moment, people who work
Not
on
what I was.
IBM
I didn't realize it
PC
was a video.
approached me
But this
and
is kind of
started
cool.
pushing me to port it to PC. I didn't like very much PC that time. The colors were too funky, too bright, and kind of very unserious kind of stuff. I understand that this is a enjoyment stuff for kids, but my mathematical kind of spirit,
He is math, not
it's
creative.
not something I really want to work on a lot, you know.
Which
I had a perfect excuse.
I am not that,
At that
but
time,
I understand that.
It was no common device between IBM PC and Electronica 60. Floppy disks had totally different formats.
That is an actual
that was
floppy
my
disk,
excuse, I say.
which is why they were called floppy.
Type it again, forget it.
Look at the little ones; they weren't that
One
floppy.
day, one of my friends from this PC department brought me the young schoolboy. He was 15 or whatever. He get this school practice in computer center for
Of 3D printed save. I can
Absolutely
exactly
genius guy.
Dipole.
His name was Vadim Gerasimov. He used to work for Google last time I've heard
I was
about
about to say.
him. I don't know where he is now, but this young wunderkind kind of was
Wunderkind.
presented to me, and I say, well, basically I have this floppy disk with
Is he
Tetris
Russian or
programming
German?
in Pascal language. So if you could transfer it somehow, then we could do something with it on PC. He
I
knew
don't miss those floppy
MS-DOS,
disks.
the PC operating system of the
That
time,
held
very
what?
well. So
A
he
meg?
could do absolutely magical stuff there. He understood the file system, which is totally different. He make a physical reading of the disk, and in 4 or 5 days, less than a week, he invited me and showed me my Tetris game exactly
Oh, snap.
with those square bracket and stuff working on
Completed
PC.
lines, level, and score. Ah,
I was really surprised and amazed.
which is probably
with
what we're
this.
going to play next. The DOS version.
For me, it
Or
might take maybe
the
months
PC
or
version.
something of work, of studying, of trying, and whatever. He did everything in record time. It was absolute miracle for me.
So
If we
funny.
find a small rectangle of ASCII table of the certain color, and we decide to make this
That is
normal
100%
16 color
DOS.
text mode. And because it's PC, it's much more international, so it's immediately spread, and we start to get the evaluation
Oh, snap.
from abroad as well. So everybody likes the game, and we feel good.
That's so cool. And here's Tetris for DOS. Y'all remember DOS? Or was that before your time? What game options we got? Enter your level. Sure, I guess we're on level 5. Okay. So fun having the no music. So what I've learned so far, Alexei Pajitnov is a cool dude, and their port to the PC came because some kid knew both languages and was able to port it over. That's kind of cool. Oops. All right, let's hit that right there. DOS and Basic were pretty. How you learned how to read? Oh, interesting. I did DOS. I didn't do Basic. I read on it, but I didn't have a computer that ran on it. So I could make a batch file. It's the right size. Yeah. The file size, no, the icon sizes are a little off to what I'm used to. So it's kind of throwing off the sense of depth, if that makes sense. Right. I'll take it. Hi, Papa Boris. Not the back seat. Duh. All right. Thankfully for this, I don't care. Bundy. There we go. Why is it so quiet? Because the original DOS one didn't have music. That was the original MS-DOS one from 1986. We're going through the history of Tetris. Apparently, this Tetris Forever game, which is out, it came out today, is an interactive documentary showing you the history of Tetris and how it came to be, which is really cool. It has interviews with Alexei Pajitnov, the original creator. They also created the Rubik's Cube. Interesting. What's that line? Oh, interesting. Robert Stein. So they're still selling Tetris. Yes. All right. So Tomorrow of the World. Gonna move over. See what the next version. So
I was born in the Netherlands.
we've got Hank
I lived
Rogers and
in
Alexei
Holland,
Pajitnov, the two guys kind of in
for
charge of
11 years
Tetris.
and moved to New
I
York
still
City.
need to watch the original
Learned
or
English.
the Tetris
went
movie, and I'm
to
gonna probably say
Our
that a
Lady
couple
of
more times.
Sorrows, graduated number one in my school, and ended
It
up
is
going
kinda
to the
cool
best
getting to
math
see
and
the
science high
pictures,
school
too.
in New York, called Stuyvesant High School.
And
That's where I got to touch computers for the first time. These were the days of punch cards.
when bugs in the
and I
program were
would put in my
literal
punch
bugs.
card program today, and I would get the result, which is the printout, 2 days later. That was the turnaround time. That wasn't good enough for me, so I cheated, and I made 6 copies of my program and put one in each drawer of each class. So I had a turnaround time of 4 hours, and my teacher couldn't understand how I was so fast. End of high school, I'm 18. I moved to Hawaii. Boy, I spent a year surfing
So,
and diving.
if you think
And if
about
there
it-
were waves, I'd be surfing. If there was no waves, I'd be diving. I was in the water every day. I was a fish. And one day I read in the newspapers, oh my goodness, I can go to
can see it
night
in here.
school and have access to computers. My dream. I loved computers. You know, I could ICS 301, you know, learn how to program in BASIC. So I said,
I
"Dad, gotta
love
have
the
access."
Tetris surfboard
And
in the
about
background.
a week into it,
I don't know if anyone
my
else
teacher
noticed
called me in
that.
and said, "Mr. Rogers, what are you doing?" I said, "What do you mean? What are you doing?" I says, "Well, you've already used as much computer time as an average student uses in a semester." And I showed him the programs I was working on, and he says, "Okay, carry on." You know, every assignment that we got, I went extra credit. I was so good that he hired me as a TA, and I graded all the papers for the next ICS 301 class. So I actually got a job, which was very useful. People ask me, "What did you study? You know, what was your major?" And I always say, I majored in computer science and I minored in Dungeons and Dragons.
Huh.
We had a organization at Campus Center called ARG, the Alternative Recreational Realities Group of Hawaii. You know,
Okay.
the first D&D books, they were like
Hawaiian.
little tiny books, and they didn't really have
That makes
enough
sense.
information to
That,
actually
that,
play the
that,
game.
that explains
You
the
had to make up
skateboards.
stuff. So we had all these additional rules, and we called them ARG rules. And so that fleshed out for the dungeon masters and for the players how to play D&D. After, I don't know, I guess it was half a year, I ran out of computer classes that I could take in night school. And my teacher said, "Well, you know, if you want more computer time, you're going to have to go to day school." And so I said to my teacher, "Well, I'm not going to take any of my core requirements." And he says, "I'm not saying that you have to take your core requirements. All I'm saying is that if you want more computer time, you're going to have to go to day school. I said, okay, I'll go. So I went to day school. I took
That's
all the
interesting.
computer classes I could take, and I took only the classes that I was interested in, which is pretty much all the science classes. I even took religion and the meaning of existence, some history, stuff that I was interested in. At the end of 3 years, they called me in and they said, another Mr. Rogers store. Mr. Rogers,
Right,
what are you
Papa
doing?
Boris.
And I said,
I
What do
agree.
you mean? I said, well, you haven't taken any of your core requirements. And I said, well, I've already been to high school. And then they said, well, if you're not going to take your core requirements, you're not going to graduate. I said, there must be some mistake. I'm not here to graduate. I'm here to get an education. And I've already got my education. Thank you very much.
Interesting.
And I chased the girl to Japan, and that was it.
That's kind of cool. Japanese RPGs?
I went to Japan, and there was no way for me to access computers. So
No,
I
that
ended up
totally
working for
looks
my
like him.
father in
What
the
are you talking
gemstone
about?
business for 6 years. And then personal computers came out, and I go, oh my gosh, this is my chance. Got my whole hands on a computer. I went to Akihabara, which is the electronics center in Tokyo. What are people
see it
buying?
in the eyes
they have to
and
do
the
with
nose.
computer because I was ready to
He
do
did
an
chase the
accounting
girl to
software,
Japan.
for Christ's sake.
Yes.
And I found out, wow, people are buying games. Games? And they were mostly like little tiny shooting games and jumping platform games. There were some simulation war games, a little bit more complicated. But there were no role-playing games. And I thought, oh, yeah, I can do
Wait,
this.
did he create the RPG?
And, at that time, in the U.S., we already had Ultima and Wizardry.
no.
What I
Okay.
didn't know was that in Japan, there was no Dungeons and Dragons. Oh my
Wait,
gosh,
what?
like, I have to teach people how to, play this game.
Why did it stop there? That is a weird spot for it
I
to
decided I
stop.
was going to make a game. I was going to have warriors and clerics
So-
and magic users, and I was
That's
going to have all these
I,
different
I
characters.
guess I can't. It's
in
hard
my
for me to
imagination, this game was
comprehend
gonna
that
be
there's
this big.
no Dungeons and
What
Dragons
did
in
I know
Japan
about what a computer can do? I didn't.
in the
And I
80s
didn't
or
know how to
whatever.
read, speak, or write Japanese. My wife could read, but she didn't understand anything about what was written in the manual, so that was kind of useless. And all the
Interesting.
manuals were in Japanese, so I had to hack the computer the whole time. I had 64K. So I made a role-playing game within 64K.
That's 64
all
kilo
graphics, no
of
text, or a little bit of
memory.
text. I started writing it all in BASIC, and then the 3D part. When I wrote the 3D in BASIC, it was like the walls were like, that's speed, and then you would take a step, bunk, and then it would like, I said, no, there's no way this game can take that long. And so I decided to take that part of the game and write it in assembler. When I was done with that, you push the button,
Show you
it
what
it
it
happened
is.
immediately. There was
Okay,
no,
that's fair.
you couldn't tell that it was drawing anything. And I was like, that was the first time I really understood how fast assembler was,
That's so funny.
or conversely, how slow BASIC was. There's a sample monster here. This is the
Oh,
the
dang.
demon. 10K for all monster graphics, and 10K for all people graphics. I
That's
think they were about equal in weight.
ridiculous.
I based the graphics on
10K. That's
on miniatures.
It's 10 kilobytes.
Because when we played Dungeons and
I don't
Dragons, we
think
played with
anything
miniatures.
this day and age is
And
10
so
kilobytes.
You had little people, and every time you went and you bought a new piece of armor, you would see it, and so you graphically could see your group up to 5 warriors, getting better and better and better. And I made a dot matrix graphic editor, so that I could draw each
Only
monster
the most
dot
powerful
by dot.
gaming version of this. My computer
He's
might be
already
able to handle it.
bought armor. He's already bought a shield. He's already bought a sword. I mean, he's already an advanced level character. The only thing that wasn't graphic was potions. Potion, you could see whether you had a little bottle as a potion, but you couldn't tell how many potions you had in your bottle. It's up to 5 potions. I wanted a package that was a little bit more expensive than the other packages. All the other packages were paper. Part of the reason is my game was 7,800 yen, when all the other games were 6,800 yen.
Probably play
And the
that
reason
game
for
on
that
watch now.
is because
You could probably play it on a
believed that my game had
Samsung
longer
fridge.
gameplay.
Let's be honest. Or a
The painting in my
TI-83?
office was painted by Roger Dean, known for doing things like the Yes Band logo, and this painting that's hanging in my office
That's a cool picture,
was
though.
the cover of an RPG game that Hank created called the Black Onyx. And
So this must
was
be
the
his
Famicom
wife?
version of the game. The painting is called Freya's Castle, and Freya actually
Freya's
is Roger's
Castle.
daughter.
That game, it took me nine months to build.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
And I would say that's my
On a calculator,
my
yeah.
lifetime greatest achievement. When you think about it, like today, if somebody gave you 64K and say make a role-playing game,
That would be tough. Exactly.
I used to be in the gem business, so I knew all about how to. I told my dad I need
They got the guy who did
1,000
that.
black onyx. The first 100 people that found the onyx and send me the
Yes.
secret password, which was Yggdrasil, which is the tree of life. They would get. I would send them a real black onyx.
Oh, dang.
Black Onyx turned out to be the #1 game in Japan in 1984. I published it myself. My company was Bulletproof Software, and
Bright Paws?
Yeah, I was all of a sudden a folk hero in the computer game world in
That's
Japan.
crazy. This is really cool. I am so glad
I wrote the first 2 games for the company, or for my company.
we're getting to look
and
into
I
this
came
and
to the
just kind of
conclusion
like
that I couldn't do this
learn
for
a
the
little
rest of my
bit
life.
about not
Basically,
just
writing a computer game
the
is a
history of
full-time
Tetris
job.
itself,
In fact, it's more
but
than
the
a
people who
full-time
made
job.
it
I was
happen,
running the
right?
company, and I was making computer games.
So the first bit was Alexi, and now we
And you
moved to
can't do
Hank
both.
Rogers.
I had to choose. And so I started traveling around the world, looking for games to bring to Japan.
Here we are at Aerosport.
1988.
This is the 1988 Personal Computer Show.
Imagine being there.
Hank, is that so far?
This is Shanghai on the Sega machine.
Uh-huh.
It's pretty good.
Yes, here we have Hank Rogers from BPS. Yes, he's over here breaking in and expanding the UK software market. He's expanding in many different ways. Taking over
Nowadays,
the
we have
world.
crucial features like being able
Hired
to see your
programmers to actually
Yeah.
take those games and move them to the Japanese computers. I'd published 2 of the first 4 Electronic Arts games,
Oh,
Archon and Mule.
okay.
They were
I
amazing
wasn't
games,
expecting
by the
this to
way.
be an interactive documentary when I bought the
Star
game,
Wars games. I made
which I'm totally
LucasArts.
okay. Wait,
I made
he
deals
created
with companies all over the world. I was more
LucasArts.
nimble than the Japanese companies because generally the way it works in
crazy.
Japan is somebody sees a game, they bring it to Japan, and then they have all the buchos, all of the managers have to all agree, yes, this is a good game, and that takes too long. I'm the president of the company. I could make the decision. I spoke English. I had that advantage, and I used it. I licensed a bunch of games, and one of the games that I licensed in that way was a little game called Tetris.
which is where it comes in here. You have a vendetta against games that put graphic over gameplay. I feel that. Oh my gosh. This is so cool. Alright. We'll go back to
Not only
Go.
was my game the #1 selling game in Japan in 1984, but it was the #1 game in software rental. You could rent my game for 1 day.
That is so funny.
Use your copy software, make a copy.
Remember
bring it
renting
back,
games?
And then next day somebody else could rent it. You can imagine how many people actually got to play my game. Way more than I sold. And so that was really going to kill our industry. And the magazines were advertising copy tools. Can you imagine? The answer to that, to copy, is Nintendo, because Nintendo was making cartridges. My wife actually read in a magazine that Mr.
Atari
Yamauchi,
50.
the president of Nintendo, plays
Oh,
Go.
Atari 50 is another one of them?
Wow. And I
I
had a submission
saw that one. I didn't
of
know
a
that it
Commodore
was out already.
64 from England, 9x9 Go. You know, Go is 19x19, but 9x9 Go. And this 9x9 Go was on the Commodore 64, which is a 6502. Nintendo is a 6502. So I knew that the algorithm was going to work. We didn't have to do anything to it. There's no danger of that.
Because I
All we
like
had to do
Atari
was
games
change
too.
the graphics and the sound
That was
and all of that.
one
We
of the
built that from
first
scratch.
systems that I
No
got
problem.
to play on.
I wrote
as
Mr.
a
Yamauchi a
young one.
fax. It's Tuesday. Mr. Yamauchi, my name is Hank Rogers. I can make a Go game for your Nintendo machine. I'm leaving for the States on Saturday. I would like to meet you before I leave. Wednesday, I get a fax back. Mr. Yamauchi will meet you tomorrow.
Fax. Remember
So,
fax
wow, that is some
machines?
fast action there. Okay, so now it's
I actually
Thursday.
remember,
Yamauchi says,
or actually,
I
I think
can't
my
give you
business
any
card still has
programmers.
the work
And I
fax
said,
number on it.
I don't need any programmers. I have programmers. I just need money. And he goes, how much money? And I'm wow, that's fast. And so
renting
I
games,
thought
yeah.
of the biggest number I could think of, 30 million yen. And he goes, deal. It's like, whoa, that
30
was
million.
fast. That was fast. And that was
Why
it.
am I not
That was
writing
pretty
these
much the
down?
meeting. I mean, it was
Oh.
over in no more than maybe between 5 and 10 minutes.
Oh,
We had
cool.
made a deal for $300,000.
I basically ran in here and turned the stream
that I've
on.
even ever heard of.
I was
Okay,
interested
fine.
in trying this out and
Cloud9
seeing
said,
what
okay, I
it
got to
was all
contact the
about.
guy from England and say, and make a deal with him because I actually didn't have a Go game. So I contacted Alan Scarf in England who had made the game. I said, dude, I'll pay you this much. You got to come to Japan and help me move this game to the Nintendo machine.
That was called shareware, Papa
And
Boris.
Alan Scarf lived in my house for 9 months while we moved the game. Now, to get a computer to play Go is incredible, you know. And now we're talking about a 64K, you know,
Nowadays,
8-bit
you can pay
computer
$50 for one level.
playing Go. Are you serious? I mean, the fact that it can play Go at all is incredible. I have little ninjas jumping around collecting the stones. Instead of having a cursor, the stone floated above the board with a shadow, and if you said play there, then it would land on its shadow. It was graphically
Papa Boris,
amazing, and it actually played.
You want the
pretty
game
decently.
now.
It's 9 months later, and I'm back in a room with Mr. Yamauchi, and Mr. Yamauchi's fumbling with the controller. I swear he'd never touched the controller before. I was like, are you serious? This is a Nintendo machine. You've never actually, I didn't say this, I'm just being flabbergasted at this whole scene. And he gets
Making
frustrated and he hands it over to his
Kara?
underling and he says, I want to go there, I want to go there, I want to go there. And he plays one game with it. And he defeats me. He's a 6th degree black belt in Go. Like my father, who's also a 6th dan. I'm a 3rd degree black belt. So I can hold
You
my
can get a
own.
black belt
if you give
in
me
Go.
3 stones or you're 6th dan, we have an even
Is that-
game. He beats a 9x9 Go algorithm on Famicom.
Oh, that came out
And he
last
says,
year.
it's too weak for Nintendo. I said, Mr. Yamauchi, it's a miracle that it plays Go at all. You know, it's plenty strong for children to learn how to play Go.
Oh, okay.
And he says, did you not hear what I said? I said, it's too weak for Nintendo. I had to think fast. I said, Mr. Yamauchi, it may be too weak for Nintendo, but it's strong enough for my company, BPS. Let me publish it. What about my money? I'll give you 100 yen for each copy until you get your money back, which is $1. So I would have had to sell 300,000 copies to give him his money back. And he said, deal.
This is about Tetris. Yes,
That is how I became a Nintendo publisher.
this is relevant. He became a Nintendo publisher
if he
because of the
says,
Go.
yes, you can publish it, it means, yes, he's given me the blessing to be a publisher.
That screen looks somewhat familiar.
So Go was my first game. And after that, you know, I had other reasons to
He
to
did
meet
in the
with
last
Yamauchi.
video.
And so I would always make the appointment on a day
I think I watched these out of order.
when he had no other appointments after my meeting, and then we would play Go afterwards. And it was like the prince and the pauper, you know, because when we play Go, everybody else is gone. Normally he's got underlings that are making sure he doesn't say or do anything that he's not supposed to, whatever. But when you play Go, there's nobody in the room. First of all, nobody else in the industry played Go. Can you imagine? And those two
Can you
worlds
imagine?
didn't collide at all. Go in Japan is not considered a game.
What's it
They
considered?
don't even say play Go. They say do Go. It's like doing kendo or aikido, and Go is in that class. And so,
Interesting.
so we played Go, and then he would ask me questions about the business, what's going on, and so on. We were actually the closest thing that he would have to being a friend
Huh.
with somebody.
Okay. Then we're talking about the Famicom. So he still played Go. They did the thing. And then there's that. Oh, you can actually play Go. I don't know how to play Go. but it's preserved. So, lesson. Is it going to be in non-English? It is. What do I do? Okay. Oh, that's fast, or that's rewinding. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. Oh, snap. I don't know what I'm doing. It's like table turf. I don't know if I'm doing good. I'm guessing. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. Then I can put that there. What are we gonna do? Just thinking. I don't know what how do you win it go? I should have probably paid attention. Music's interesting. I won. Okay. We've played Go. Alright, let's go farther. Okay. And now we're talking about regular Tetris. Look at that.
I'm at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. My job
CES
is to find
1980
games to bring to
something.
Japan. And the way it works is there are like hundreds of monitors from dozens of companies, all showing games. And the
This
people
is
are lined
pre-Sonic.
up to play those games, you know, for a couple of minutes to get an impression.
Yeah,
Just
he
thinking
was
about
trying
Sega.
to have a Go game. He was really into Go. He had this other game he was working on called Black Onyx. But everybody was playing this game in our booth. Tetris.
What game was it?
Hank
Oh.
came over to play.
So I stand in line, and there I play Tetris for the first time.
Oh,
And,
look. Another
then I
MS-DOS
go and
version
play
of
other
Tetris.
games, and I find myself standing in line at the Tetris machine again. And I
Tetris is
play
addictive.
again.
I'm not going to lie.
Oh, okay. And I go away, and I find the fourth time
California
I'm
Games Pod in the
standing in this
background.
line.
What's
it's
California
I'm
Games
really
Pod
hooked on
button?
this game.
And he sees my name on the top of the high score list. So he sits there for hours trying to knock me off the list.
I put the high score on the game. I beat Gilman Louis' high score on that game.
He meets up with Phil.
I showed it to Hank for the first time. Hank loved it.
Phil takes Hank into a meeting with me.
And
The game
so
on
I
the
started
NES. Oh, okay,
negotiating
got
with,
it.
With Gilman about Tetris for Japan.
And
I thought
he
it was a
goes,
game
I
company.
want to get the Japanese rights.
Okay. Here's that Tetris for the DOS that we just saw played. A little bit up. 1987. 30-year-old Soviet. Oh, gosh. so crazy to me. I guess we'll start at 5, I guess. There is Tetris on Virtual Boy. Still no songs. This is the silent era of Tetris. Oh. I think Pixel would like this game too. Just because education and learning. Oh, I know we can do this. Aha! Hacky sack game? So, oh dang it. I'm so used to regular Tetris. The Tetrises that I'm playing now, that down is the fast, or not the fast drop, but like the slow drop, whatever you call that. Can't make mistakes. Well, we're going to get to the OG background music here actually really soon. Sooner than you think. Because I'm going to go and finish the... I won! We'll just put Bundy in all of these. I don't know if they save them. The focus flow state music. So funny. I was looking at... all right. Facebook memories today. Okay, so now we're bringing in
The
Elord.
situation was very clear. Not my
Back to
computer
Alexei.
center, even Academy of Science has no right to have any business deal with somebody outside of USSR. That was very special agency of Ministry of Foreign Affairs who was
So
authorized
someone made
to sign some
music
kind
acapella.
of business
There you go,
business
pause.
deals with any other outside entities. And then I start kind of my
there's other
odyssey over those different agencies in Moscow. I didn't want this too much. I was a little bit afraid of all this.
I like his voice.
Activity around this stuff. So any excuse to avoid it, I used in full force. But as soon as I have this telex, I need to do something with it. And I did several agency, and all of them kind of say, no, we don't deal with software, we don't know how to do this. It's not our main job, and the deal is too small or whatever. Finally, I got very good guy in Ilorg. His last name was Alexeyenko. Sasha Alexeyenko, Alexander Alexeyenko, yeah. He likes programming and he likes us programmers, and that was a very big hope for my little game. So I prepare some kind of paper for agreement between Computer Center and Delorg. My deputy director just signed it without reading. 3 or 4 months, I didn't heard anything of it.
Again?
And all of a sudden
That's a
he
really
called
cool
me and
suit
say,
coat.
yeah, well, I met Robert Stein. He consider your reply as an agreement. I say, come on, how could it be? It looks like he get this deal as is, and he is sublicensed
Look at that floppy
already,
disk.
and the game is about to.
Well, that's the Spectrum Holobyte version that we played earlier.
We can't do anything like that. So the only thing we could do is just to sign the agreement with them and let them do
This
it.
reminds me also, being an interactive documentary or whatever, I used to watch a lot of
this telex reply
icons
as a
on
general
G4
agreement.
back
That
in the
was
day.
it.
And it was basically
Somehow
history of video game
it
stuff,
happens
right?
and stopped. And I never heard about the game, about anything for another kind of maybe 3 or 4 months. But at this time,
just think how
the
formative
new person came
his
to the
30s
scene,
were.
Mr.
He created
Belikov,
Tetris in
Nikolai
his
Nikiforovich
30s.
came on board, he became the chief of my previous friend. We discussed the strategy, we discussed what we could do. We decided we never give up the other platforms and whatever. So we was all in agreement about this stuff.
All right. Tetris for the Apple II. The Apple II. I miss Icons in Cinematheque as well. So interesting to me. Oh. There was no music in this one either. Oh, interesting. Okay. It bugs me that pink one is like off. Oh, we got a noise. Music A from that is the most iconic, the Korobainiki Russian folk tune. No, go to the left, thank you. It is interesting. The dithering is the word I was looking for yesterday. Okay. Get a beep and maybe a boop if I'm lucky. Yes, exactly. One of the first games was on an Apple. I remember back when I played Sand Tetris. Are you talking like Cascade Tetris? Is that... Hey, Pitt, how's it going? How was your stream today? I think it was today that you were streaming, right? Or was that tomorrow? I don't remember. Tomorrow, okay. Oh, I don't think I've done that one. Ugh. Okay, yeah, I think that's a different version than I was thinking of. I like the little, what is it? Is it supposed to be like a space station in the back? A space station, yes, exactly. Alrighty. I find it interesting that all the shapes are different colors. Welcome back. Good. Today has been a very long day. That was a Tetris. We got all 4 lines. Do you think they did the space station theme because it was Russian? Yeah, Pitt, what time are you streaming tomorrow? I saw the post. I just can't remember if. Mir? Oh, yeah, you are on West Coast, aren't you? I sometimes forget that. Oh, got it. I understand. Thank you. Pause. What's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Wednesday. That should be fine. Like the contractor at work won't be in tomorrow. So I can have it up. Okay, I think this is the one I've done best at so far. Okay. You know what? We've experienced the Apple II version of Tetris now. Let's top 10 comrades. Ugh, that's funny. I probably could. Apple II is a very old computer, JJ. Also, hi, JJ. I know you were in here earlier, but I don't need to press the any key to reboot. There we go. Yes, it was one of the original Macs, actually. All right. Now we get to talk about
June by now.
Now everybody's coming together.
His first stop is the company that put him in business, a Japanese company called ASCII, and made a deal to represent Microsoft in Japan.
I had a good relationship.
We're having a history lesson today,
Microsoft
JJ.
Japan.
We're learning about the history of Tetris.
They kind of gave me my start, giving me contracts.
Yeah, I think my dad had that game, actually.
The MSX back time was a Japanese computer.
That was their relationship. So he had to stop at ASCII first, and they were the biggest company in Japan at that time.
I showed it to them, but they were, they were not that interested in Tetris.
ASCII passed on Tetris in 1988 because they said Tetris was too retro. Can you imagine? Tetris was too retro in 1988.
Tetris was
ASCII
too
is
retro.
Gone. Tetris is still here. I would say ASCII is too retro.
So Hank goes, I'll license
Interesting.
it. I agree that Hank would be the right partner because Hank loved this product. Like, he loved this product. And I knew he was going to do right by this product. Hank wanted console
Probably JJ, but
as well. Now, this is pre-Game Boy.
Gilman, at that point, licensed me. Of course, it was PC, it was console, it was coin-op, and then
can you imagine
then
playing
he goes
Tetris
back,
on an arcade?
and we had made a whole deal.
So I go back and I call
You do braces before
Mirasoft,
veneers?
because we jointly owned
I had braces
the IP. The Mirror Group was owned by the Maxwell.
a long time ago.
And the son of Robert Maxwell. Robert Maxwell was the head of the entire enterprise. But Kevin was trying to build his own sub-publishing group inside this, an electronic publishing group. The CEO was a guy by the name of Peter Bellata. And Peter wanted the rights from Blasteroids. He traded Blasteroid rights for Tetris.
3 weeks later, he calls me and he says, I'm really sorry to say this, but
had to get it pulled down.
While I was in Japan dealing this,
I had to have my palette expanded.
Mirasoft has licensed those rights to Tengen, Atari Games / Tengen. I said, those guys absolutely have no presence in Japan. Why would they do that? They traded it for Blasteroids.
The palette I had a palette expander.
A B game at best. Yes.
The brace, the
Blastroid
brace
sounds
did
like
take
a
the tooth down.
condition.
Yes.
Blastroid, here, take some preparation B. Where did nobody ever heard of Blastroids after that? Anyway,
I was furious, but he wanted the Atari brand.
Blastoids.
So I go up to Kevin. I said, "This is Kevin Maxwell.
This is kind of a vibey
worst
stream
decision
today.
you could ever make. How could you let
Demon Slayer. I don't
this game
know if that's the one
go
that they're talking
for
about, but maybe
a
it is. I
B-class
haven't
game like
watched a lot of
Blastoids?
Demon Slayer.
Kevin was trying to broker the peace between warring American company run by myself, Sphere and Spectrum Holobyte, and Peter Bellata, who was running Mirrorsoft at the time. So the way it worked was, okay, you
And
keep
Just
the,
Chatting
the
Stream.
game
Basically,
rights, but
that's what this
Peter's
is.
gonna license
With
this.
Tetris built into
So I
it,
call up Hank
I
and said
guess.
to Hank, look, I'm out of it.
I said, Gilman, we made a deal. You can't just like walk away and say that, sorry, there was no deal. We have a deal. He said, okay, let me see what I can do. And then what he came back with is, okay, well, I've got.
Do you see
I
the
got you
Tetris
the
surfboard
PC
in the
rights,
background?
the personal computer.
That's my
rights.
favorite
That's
part of
something.
his
My current company has ruled that they're going to
scene,
go with the
I
Brits.
guess.
The Brits have licensing it.
Blind
to
Bat, welcome
Atari,
on in. Hope you're
Tengen.
doing well.
Right, you need to go talk to
We're
them if you
having
want to
history
get the rights
today.
for the cartridge rights.
Hey, Gamer Engage, how's it going?
I'd already started developing on all
So,
8 different
this was
personal
that-
computers.
Oh,
They
we
were
haven't
all
played
not
this version.
compatible.
I don't
And
think.
on
Or did we?
Nintendo. On
That's the
on
NES
family
version. That's the one
computer,
that's
the NES.
the
Tengen.
second
Okay,
probably
Tengen.
most recognized
I know
version.
the guy who's
If I had to
working with
guess.
the Tengen. His name is Randy Brolite. He
The
sends
Game
me
Boy
a
being the
fax and
first
he
one.
says,
I'm doing all right,
sorry,
thanks.
but we've made a decision. We can't license it to
Just
you.
kind of vibing, playing Tetris, learning about Tetris.
And
Tetris.
Atari Games was owned. Let's see, it was 46% by an American company,
White hair, but
46% by
eyebrows.
Namco.
I
and 8%
didn't
by the
notice
people
that
who
until you
ran
pointed
the
it out,
company.
JJ.
So I thought, well, maybe Namco decided that they're going to publish it. But Namco had a policy. They never published anybody else's software. They only ever published their own games.
That's
I
interesting.
remember being at a
Namco never published
at a
outside.
trade show, and I ran into Iwatani. Iwatani is the creator of Pac-Man.
I know that because of Pixels.
And so I go, Mr.
The movie.
Iwatani, what do you think of Tetris? And he drew a blank. He said, oh, what do you mean? I said, oh, never mind. If Namco was going to be publishing Tetris, and if they were looking at it, he would know.
That's true.
And so the fact that
He's
he didn't
smart.
know meant that Namco had no eyes on Tetris. I said to my team,
Smart.
look, I'm getting on a plane. I'm going to there in San Jose. I'm going to San Francisco. I'm not coming back
San
till I have these
Francisco in the
rights.
1980s.
I got a meeting. Remember the table with Van Elderen, Nakajima, Randy Brolite, and I was explaining that I had already made a lot of progress on Tetris, and it took me 10 days. We had I remember having sushi with the president of Atari Games, Nakajima, and on a napkin we made a deal. That's how I end up being able to publish Tetris in Japan.
1987. So here's the BPS version. Oh, not the actual game of it. Ads and cartridges and such. Tetris Sega Arcade.
I used to play Tetris in arcade. That was Sega arcade.
Sega Tetris.
And before I joined the Sega, I was a teenager. And
I love
the
that
Japanese game
backdrop
center.
too. I don't know where that is.
That was a very exciting place.
But I love the
Two
cityscape.
people sat facing each other in a table-type cabinet, and it was, coins stacked on the table like that. And I wasn't a good player, but
I'll have to
I
figure
watched
out.
the,
I'll have to
the
see if
super plays,
Pixel gets this game.
by the great
Then I have
creators,
multiple versions of
replay
Tetris I can
players
play
and
against
that.
Pixel.
And there was
Maybe one of them
always
I
a
might be able
huge
to win.
crowd around the Tetris table. Tetris was like
A very
very
intellectual game.
intellectual battle type of game. It's very quiet and silence, and very high.
You were in high school
tension,
back then?
and everybody watching just blocks. I think Tetris is the first game, you know. It's
Gamer
really
Engage, were
great
you
to
a
watch.
Tetris fan at all?
Yeah, Tetris is very
Were you?
simple game. No decoration, just very simple patterns of shapes. Everybody go into a deep dive into the zone
I think
states
that's one of my
kind
reasons
of
why I
feeling.
like Tetris so
I
much,
love that.
because
I
I can
love
just
that
kind of
feeling.
zone out. It is time. There you go, pause. Oh. What year did we get to? Let's start it back. 1988. I don't. You had the Sega Genesis back then? This was your brother? There it is. Push the wrong button. How do I rotate? Oh. Apparently, you have to... It did say it was using an old control scheme. The down button rotates it, and the what is my A button does the hard drop. Just tired of waiting. I don't think this is the Tetris I was used to. Alright. Okay. I wonder how many lines of code it took to make this game specifically. Yeah, the Switch is a good one. That's what I'm playing this on, actually. Indeedy. There is the Tetris. I got the Tetris, so now... Also, this like, high-pitched buzzing, I'm not the biggest fan of. I'm gonna just... What happens when you die? Oh. You get 3 lives in this one. Interesting. Okay. We played Tetris on the Famicom. Tengen was set to release Tetris. Oh, but then they did it without Nintendo's approval. Hey, regular Game Boy. I actually pulled mine out earlier. Packing games. Big decision.
Robert Stein, he was the closest to
Interesting.
Moscow. And we were communicating by
The
fax
FX, not
for
so
the
much
handheld
exactly.
ones. You know, he kept on
And that was the
putting me off, putting me
Famicom
off,
compared to
putting
the
me off.
NES,
And,
which
you know,
is
he sends me a fax. He
apparently
says,
higher fidelity
I'm
audio.
going to go to this whatever trade show in Germany. Then I'm going to Moscow. I'll be there for a week. I'll be there for a week. There for a week. Then I want you to come. why? Why do I have to come a week after you go to Moscow? What's going on? That was February of 1989. Then at that time, I got a call from Arakawa. I said, somebody, and that was Gilman Louie, had come to me and said that they could give me the Game Boy rights to Tetris. All the alarms were going off. There is, somebody else is dealing Tetris somewhere. I got to get on that plane. So I said, Mr. Arakawa, Gilman is the one who came to Japan and said he could give me the rights. And turned out he didn't have the rights.
Uh-oh.
So I'm about to get on a plane and go to Moscow and get these rights for you. Give me a chance to finish my job. He said, okay. With a tourist visa, 2 days later, I got on a plane, went to Moscow.
That's interesting. Just...
I get on a plane.
The whole story
with
of how
tourist
Tetris
visa, not knowing anybody
came to
or
be.
anything.
There she is.
Hey, it's the building from Tetris.
I had a video camera because I had no confidence that I would be able to describe what happened to me in Moscow. And so I was recording everything.
Okay, this is the hotel from the outside, the Interest Hotel. Actually, it looks wonderful from the outside. This is my room in the Interest Hotel. Oh, look, there's even a mirror. There's a
And an
TV.
ashtray in the
TV, I tried
hotel.
to plug it in last night, and sparks started coming out of the machine. This is Moscow. It looks pretty gray. That's because it's pretty gray.
I thought it was just the camera, but I guess it's just gray.
Well, today I'm going to go out, see what I can find out.
All I have is the game with the copyright notice, and the copyright notice says Tengen to Mirosov, from Mirosov to Andromeda, from Andromeda to Elorg. I had a bitch of a time finding Elorg.
Interesting.
I've spent about 3 hours trying to locate Elorg.
Watching video of Hawaii because the TV doesn't work, the radio doesn't work. I've read everything I could read. I'm waiting for a phone call from Japan. They're going to tell me where the Moscow Book Club is, because I'm sure I won't be able to find out by asking people here.
My strategy was I was going to find a Go player in the Soviet Union. So I had gotten the address of the Russian Go Association. They made some phone calls for me.
And to think this was all done without internet?
And so the next morning, I had a chance to
cell
play
phones?
Go with the third strongest Go player in the Soviet Union. He was also a 6 dan, just like Mr. Yamauchi. And like my father, he's also a 6 dan.
I got smart this time, and I have hired a car.
The next day, we hired a limousine.
Driver in the mirror. I wonder if we can... Maybe it's too dark to see.
So what's your name?
He's vlogging before vlogging was cool.
Victor. I see, okay.
I get back to my hotel, and in the hallway of the hotel, all of a sudden I see an interpreter. And it's like, interpreter's like, oh my gosh, of course, I should hire an interpreter.
To the left, you can't see, yes, it's, there is one of the biggest swimming pools in Moscow.
Oh. But it's not a swimming pool now, I'll bet. It's a skating rink or something?
No, it's swimming pool. It's open all the year round.
And people swim there now?
Yes.
Wow.
Can you imagine swimming outside in the winter?
I have a very lovely interpreter. And her name is...
My name is Allah.
Your name is Allah.
And so I said to Allah, can you help me find Elorg? And she looked at it and said, oh yeah, I know where Elorg is. She knew that right away. And I said, that made me suspicious. It's like she already knew what I was looking for. In other words, the word had gotten around, this guy snooping around for Elorg, which I'm not supposed to be doing that. I'm not supposed to be meeting any Russians. I'm only supposed to be there taking pictures of tourist attractions. That's it.
Huh. I really like that building. I
Really
mean,
comfy.
I've seen it.
First, we went to the Go Club. The place where people play Go is inside of this big building where the Olympic Committee was.
Interesting.
Whoa! What's this? Olympiada? Olympisk. That's where they have the chess club. They take their sports very seriously. We're going right into it.
Can you?
I'm impressed.
Going to Russia to play Go. I mean,
I won that game. Problem with the Go player is he didn't speak a word of English. So he was absolutely useless. I couldn't get anything out of him, but I had the interpreters, it's fine. So then we went to a LORG.
Okay, we're on the street here, where we just passed by the American Embassy. And that building there is a LORG.
And I remember going up to the door of a LORG, this interpreter, she goes, no, you can't go in there. And I said, what do you mean I can't go in there? I said, you're here on a tourist visa.
Oh,
it's like, how do you even know that, you know? And I said, I didn't come all this way to stand in front of a door and then go back to Japan and get a visa so that I can go through this door. I'm going through this door. Are you coming with me?
Oh, snap.
And she said, no, I can't go with you. I said, okay, I'm going in. You wait here.
Drama.
So I just stood
Exactly,
there in the
Dipole.
lobby waiting for somebody to talk to me. Mr. Belikov comes down the stairs and I had my game. I said, I'm the publisher of this game in Japan, Tetris, and I'm looking for the rights to Tetris for handheld. And he looks at it and he looks at it and he says, what machine is this for? And I said, it's for Nintendo. It's a console.
For Nintendo.
And he says, we never licensed Tetris for console to anyone. I'm like, holy crap. If somebody else picked up those rights, they could stop me from publishing and my in-laws would lose all of their land. So I was in some seriously deep kimchi at that moment. I decided, you know what? I'm going to focus on the mission that I'm here and I'll deal with this later. So I said, I would like to come back tomorrow and I'm here for the handheld rights. The reason I said the next day is because I wanted to make sure that they could get the right people in the room. So he said, okay, come back tomorrow. I'll meet you at 1 o'clock, blah, blah, blah. That was my official invitation right there.
All right. And
the
then
next day I went back.
Got everybody coming together.
I get escorted into this room.
Alexi
One end of the
and
long
Hank.
table, there are 8 people, something like that, sitting on the other side. I'm sitting by myself on this side.
This is interesting.
And
Like,
we're about to start
I'm
the third degree.
Immersed.
And all these guys are suspicious. Like, who the hell are you? How did you know? Because I came out of nowhere. I wasn't supposed to be there.
You looked really suspicious. From Japan,
I
with perfect English. I mean, something really wrong.
Yeah, so I'm a Dutchman living in Japan who talks like an American. And by the way, my English is very simple English because I've been living in Japan for many years and I know how to speak English as a second language. So all these people are able to understand me. Anyway, there's like a lot of negative vibes coming from the other side of the table.
You can speak really good English now.
I could see his demeanor change as the conversation went on when he realized that I was a game designer. As I was explaining what my involvement was, I could see him visibly warm up. And I mean, the others, a couple of guys in there, I don't know, they're KGB or whatever they,
Well, they are all, frankly, KGB, but they are not kind of field agents, so per se. Mostly they sell weapons, I believe. To the other country. They have specialty in making contracts and follow the money and...
I can tell you this, nobody on the other side of the table, except Alexi, knew anything about computer games.
Oh, about computer games, no, but about the international trade, they probably...
They knew something. Well, if they did, they got totally spanked by Stein in that contract.
I don't think Robert Stein, he intended to misrepresent anything. He was like a sole entrepreneur who's out there trying to make a buck by licensing products.
Stein shows up, which I knew he was going to be there. I just didn't know
He looks
where
like the
or
guy
how.
from the
But what I
Pixar,
didn't know was Kevin Maxwell.
the guy
also
who
showed up.
like
They never meet each other.
refreshed
But Kevin
Woody in
Maxwell,
Toy Story 2.
Stein and Hank was at the same time in Ilorg, so I met them all.
So now there were 3 people in Moscow at the same time trying to get the Game Boy rights.
We were supposed to have all rights, not just PC and Mac, but it kind of came out that I'm not sure Stein had all the rights that he needed with this Elord programmer.
We found out that Stein started selling the other platform, which we never considered him to have. We were furious when we heard about this.
The deal that had been made was between
Great, thank you, Pause.
Elorg and Robert Stein, which is Andromeda.
Pause
for
button wants you to
the
stay hydrated.
Computer.
Drink
By the
water.
time this deal gets to Microsoft, they read the contract that says, the computer. Oh, that's everything. We got everything.
Up until that point, I thought we had all the rights, right? Because Stein represented that as such.
Stein had licensed arcade rights to Tengen, because they were an arcade company, and to Sega. And he didn't have those rights.
That's interesting.
And so the Russians say, yeah, you need to clean that up before we even talk to you about anything else.
He came and started crying and saying that he can't afford anything without this platform and that. We say, no, we don't want to even discuss it with you.
They came to me and they say, Stein is here. He's looking to figure out the arcade rights. What should we do? Rather than asking for a per unit or something complicated that you can't check, ask him for a big upfront money. And so that is the deal that actually ended up happening between Stein. That's how Tengen and
Dognet?
I don't think Stein was being evil.
Hi, Dognet.
The communication.
Welcome on in, Raiders. How are we doing? Dog, you play web fishing? We're going to have to play some web fishing sometime.
He wasn't a contracts guy. He was trying to do his best.
How are you? Dog, Guava, Pup Crash, Rose Storm, welcome on in.
Wasn't publisher, he was an agent.
Welcome on in,
All
Raiders.
he do is
Can I pause this? I can pause this. Hi, everybody. My name is Andy, if you don't know me already. Welcome on in, Dog, with everything. We are today playing... Well, we're playing what is technically an interactive documentary. It's Tetris Forever. It came out today on the Nintendo Switch, Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. And basically what we're doing is learning about the history of Tetris while playing the different versions as it goes on. It's very interesting. And obviously, Dog, if you need to lurk, relax, de-stream, do all that stuff, I understand. But right now, what we're doing, they're talking about, they are in Russia. No, yes. Yeah, they're in Russia trying to get the rights to the Game Boy version because apparently somebody licensed and it was weird and everything else. Ice Pagoda. Yes, Ice Pagoda was right. It came out today. And then I was like, so that's kind of where we're at right now.
We're publishing this. You can either
it's been kind of cool. It's basically an interactive documentary.
And that's, of course, an
and
impossible
we're
thing.
talking,
There's no
and
way that
this
the
is
Russian government is going to
Hank.
sue
I don't remember what his last name
somebody
is.
outside the Soviet
And
Union
this is Alexei
over
Pajitnov.
intellectual
He's the guy who made Tetris.
This is brewing in
And
one
this is another
big
guy
stew.
who worked
You
for
the Soviets.
I don't remember what company he works for, but he has another
murkiness of
maybe
the
Nintendo.
contract and the technical meetings of what was licensed.
We're talking about
what
licensing right
wasn't
now.
licensed.
It's very like
Hank
high
in
level.
Russia.
But apparently
had
3 people were trying to license it,
Microsoft
and there was a lot of
Robert
drama.
Maxwell, who was bigger than the character. Kind of the
Yeah,
Rupert
this is
Murdoch
it's
competitor of
interesting to
who
me
had
just
strong
going back.
relationships
But I
with the
also
Kremlin.
really enjoyed games
So
like
he was
or
trying to
games,
call in over
shows
the
like
top,
Cinematech
right, by
Icons where I'm learning
engaging
about the
very
history of this
senior
kind of
levels
stuff.
of
So
government to force
learning
the
about
license
how the
to fall
games
in
got
in
licensed.
favor
We've
of
played through an
Atari
MS-DOS
and
version, an Apple II
Nobody
version
on the other side of the table
of
had
Tetris.
any idea how big the game business was. They were taking the,
It's
the
crazy.
Russians to the cleaners. They were getting a percentage.
But
of
yeah,
a percentage.
it's really cool.
Percentage. Just
And
imagine this.
having that
Spectrum
background.
Holobyte has a quarter where they sell.
Got to see some
$100,000
actual floppy
worth,
disks
and they
today
pay
too.
$20,000 to Microsoft. that becomes
And you don't have to worry about
income on the
spoilers
second
because this
quarter,
is more of just educational more than
$20,000.
anything
And
else.
from that $20,000, they pay Stein
So,
20%, which is
and it's so funny.
$4,000 in the next quarter.
These
and
two,
then
I mean,
Stein reports that
the
in
80s weren't
fourth
that long
quarter. So
ago,
by the
right?
time the fourth quarter comes around, it's 20% of
And so these-
$4,000 at $800, out of this
It's so
huge
cool.
chain of money. So I said, look, the way I'm going to do this deal is you guys should not care how many sub-licensees. You are going to get
But yeah,
a fixed amount of money from
I think
each
the last one
unit
that we
is
played
sold.
was the
So I will
NES
pay you
version
25 cents per
of
unit for
Tetris,
Game Boy.
the
No matter
Famicom,
who
my
sells
bad.
it in the world, you will get 25 cents.
My dad was an honest guy. He could really
Rogers,
say, I'm
Hank
not the richest
Rogers.
guy, but I will show you
This is
exactly
his
how much
daughter,
money
the
I'm
guy on
making.
the
Here's an
left.
honest deal. Whereas before they weren't getting an honest deal, obviously.
I love all the
Yeah,
Tetris
so,
merch too.
How many copies do you think
when
you're
Hank
going to
was
sell? And
being interviewed by himself,
we're
he
talking
had
about
just
packing it in a
this
Game Boy.
like Tetris surfboard in the background,
Maybe 30 million copies.
No, come
and
on.
I really want this
You
suit
say,
jacket.
You was very moderate with your expectations.
Okay,
10
all right.
million,
I would wear that.
5 million, 10 million.
Oh, okay, say it's 10 million. 10 million times a quarter, that's $2.5 million. That is
Right there.
significantly more than they were ever going to make with all the
it
deals that they had
was
done up to the...
Totally other.
And them just kind of interacting. This is entertaining
They
to
asked
me.
me, when are you coming back to Moscow?
And I wasn't realizing that this
And
was
I
an
said, "What
interactive
do you mean?"
documentary when I
He says, "Well,
started
we
it.
need time to
I
think
thought
this
it was
over."
just
I said,
a bunch of different versions
I
of
either
Tetris.
leave Moscow
But
with
they give
the
you two
rights
options. You can
to
just play the
handheld
games,
Tetris,
or you can learn the
or I
history of
don't.
Tetris
I
while
leave
playing
without
them.
it.
And
I'm
so
not coming
that's what
back.
we initially
don't have that
decided to
kind of
do.
time. I made this
Only
very
an hour and a
official
half
thing,
in right
boom,
now.
this- You have 1 week to answer me with
Letter of
We're still in the
intent was,
80s.
yeah, with a proposal, and
I
after
don't think
that,
we've made
this,
it to the 90s yet.
This offer is null and void. I mean,
So, and then you go through a timeline basically. So, get these handheld rights, and we're just kind of going through each video.
Good morning.
Um,
Like it's
Snowing in Russia.
I was at Mr.
That reminds me of
Parkinson's
Fiddler on the Roof.
Tuesday until 2 o'clock in the morning. Had a very interesting conversation.
Anyway, how was
about,
web fishing? How did you
game
enjoy it?
design, and showed me
Did you
many
pick?
games.
Oh, I guess I would imagine you
Sure,
probably
we
picked a
can
dog or a
have
cat.
very fruitful relationship.
Did you catch any big fish?
I'm
That's,
on my
I
way
guess,
now
more the
to,
question I was
10
going to
o'clock
ask.
Appointment with Elodie about
I forgot that Elod is
obtaining the
a
rights
game dev
to,
company. I thought it was a
handheld
person at
Tetris.
first. And I got very confused
shall see.
until
in that
they
meeting,
showed up and they're
we
like, oh
hammered
yeah,
out the
we're here at
basics
Elord.
of what a deal would look like. And I said, I'll get you a contract.
I want to know where they
And it
filmed
took
this. I
8
love the
hours to make a
cityscapes and the
phone call
backgrounds.
out of the Soviet Union to anywhere. I make the phone call to my lawyer in
I have the
in
subtitles on
Tokyo.
too, just in case
I do it
you
before I
want to
go
pay
to sleep
attention
so
to what
that
they're
if
talking
they call
about
me during the
while
night,
I'm
then
talking.
I'll
And
be
if you want
there.
to hear what I'm talking,
I
there's
wake up in the morning,
captions that
sure
you can
enough,
turn
takes
on
about
down
8
here.
hours. I said, okay,
Or something like that.
I need a contract. I have to explain every
Ugh.
word, so it can't have any big words. It can't be more than 20 pages because I have a limited amount of time to explain this. It has to be a fair contract because I'm not going to have time to go back and forth. This contract has to work the very first time.
But yes, I love
and
this
it has to satisfy Nintendo
lot.
that we actually have the rights to Tetris. And you have 24 hours to create this contract.
There's so much drama, and I
here's
did
the
not
fax number.
realize. I didn't get to watch the Tetris Apple
So,
Plus
24 hours later, this
movie.
contract appears.
It's another
To
one
them,
that I
they'd
still
never
need to
seen a
watch.
contract that was that
And maybe
fair.
after doing this,
Hank is
maybe
very
that's something
good
that I
partner.
decide to
We
do.
decided
Also, I
to
don't
want
remember if I thanked you.
And by the way,
or Pub Crash, thank you
since
for
then
the
I found
follow.
out they
I
used that
appreciate it.
contract as the basis for all their contracts after that.
Including myself, I use this contract a
Do
lot.
So yeah, we
Gen
signed
Z
a contract
For handheld?
for handheld.
I can never
on
remember
Friday.
which ones.
Then they asked
The one
me,
I always do is
would you
this
like
one.
to do another
But
contract
I'm having
for
trouble
console?
today. I
And
don't
said,
know.
sorry, but I can't.
No.
The company I licensed from, they're a big litigious company. I had read the Atari contract, and they told my lawyer said that there's a clause in there that says if we don't have the right, you have to help us get it. How the hell did that get into the contract? It's like, oh my God, this is litigation. I have to go back and figure out whether I can do this or not.
Was that dubbed over? It sounded like it was dubbed over. So, Belikov showed Rogers the original contract. was only granting rights for Tetris on computers, and it was interpreted to include game consoles, but the original rights holder said no. So then we're defining what a computer is. Okay, we're gonna get to see some more retro 80s videos. I love this.
Did everybody know that?
No.
At your hotel at 6 o'clock or whatever it is?
Yeah.
Meet me at the front door, because I can't go into your hotel being a Soviet citizen unaccompanied.
Oh.
It felt a little clandestine, you know?
You want to show me something important.
I had brought with me a Sharp Famicom.
A Sharp Famicom?
And I had a little portable videotape player, tiny videotape, and it had a screen that had a RCA in. I wanted to show him Tetris on Nintendo. He'd never seen it.
That's so funny.
I tried to play. I was completely disappointed because it was a wrong hand. I play with my right hand and drop with my left hand, but with the joypad.
Joypad.
Yeah, it was
Joypad.
different kind of disappointment, which I politely hide. But anyway. And probably the same day,
They
maybe
had to go up
next
to the
day, we went to my
to
apartment
play the
because I was desperate
Nintendo to show
him my other games.
but couldn't go
He
unaccompanied
was the first
because he's in
professional
Russia.
game designer I ever see in my life.
With a built-in FTS, exactly.
It was important to at least hear his opinion. Maybe he would be interested in publishing something or whatever, but what is important, I don't know. I am out of this world. So that's why I take some kind of risk to inviting him.
That's
Saturday and Sunday. Basically, we had no meetings. You took me on a tour.
Today is a wonderful day. We have done
He's
most of
video
our business.
blogging.
Today we are sightseeing with Mr. Pajitnov.
This building like a false teeth.
He sounds the same.
We are just about arriving at the Red Square.
Yes.
Or I should say the Kremlin. It's supposed to be 9 churches in one. This is Mr. Alexei Pazitnov. He is the author of Tetris.
Play Tetris.
Play Tetris.
My friends.
Okay.
That's awesome.
So, you have to see my barb. I'm Russian people.
Beard. Beard.
It's Brunt. This is still Soviet Russia. Exactly.
Arbat Street. There's a lot of free activity going on here, like music and poetry being read and art being shown. Here's the artist. And she's
And then that's the other guy. That's Hank.
Very nice little book from Arbat, at Arbat Street.
And the next day he invite me to Japanese restaurant. I had no idea what Japanese people
It's
eat.
so funny. This is
And
what,
then
30
I
years
found out
later,
that I
40
put in
years later?
situation when I need to use wooden stick instead of forks. and moreover, I need to eat the fresh, uncooked fish. Which
Culture
kind
shocks.
of absolutely unthinkable.
Right,
thing for
Dipole? I
Russians.
told you.
Fish is something
I would
you-
100% wear
for
that.
sanitary reason, you need to cook, overcook, and overcook again. You know, but he kind of showed me how to handle those chopsticks, and then.
To be
he
fair,
showed me that
chopsticks take a little bit to
this
learn.
green stuff is really hot kind of spice.
The wasabi.
which could help me to swallow this uncooked fish and whatever. So basically, I managed to be okay.
You managed to be okay.
Yeah.
Guess what his favorite food is now?
Is it sushi?
Sushi.
That's so funny.
A little taste of Japan.
And strange restaurant, very fancy, but they don't manage to cook the fish, the most cookable kind of food
I think
out
just
of
having these
anything
guys
else,
just
you
kind of
know.
reminiscing.
Oh my goodness.
That's
This has been that's been my favorite part so far. I mean, yes, playing an Apple II version of Tetris is fun, but having that whole experience, I love it. All right, Nintendo goes to Russia. Hank returns to Moscow, this time with Nintendo's top executives, working on an idea for the worldwide home console rights. Nintendo creates its own version of Tetris everywhere except Japan, where BPF would sell the Famicom version. So there's two Tetrises on the NES, the one that we played earlier, and then the new one. Oh, there's a Mega Drive version too. Oh, they didn't release because of the conflict of the rights. Play it, Jason? Welcome on in, friends. How is it?
For the raid, play Jason, and welcome you
Jason.
lovely people.
Jason, welcome on in. How's everyone doing today? First a raid from Dog, and now a raid from Jason, both with 42 viewers. It's like it's the answer to life, the universe, and everything. But welcome on in, Raiders. My name's Andy, variety streamer. Deb says hi. Thank you for the follow. How was your stream? I saw you were playing Alien Isolation. How did it go? We are playing Tetris Forever today. And what it is, it's kind of an interactive documentary talking about the history of Tetris. It's so scary. I have not played it, but I can understand why it would be. So we're doing a little bit of... The game is an interactive documentary. Did not know that going in. But thank you again, Jason, so much for the raid. I appreciate you. And if you need to raid and run, lurk, de-stream, do your stuff, I'll be here for a little bit later. We're right now in 1989. They had just gotten the rights for the NES version of Tetris. There was some drama. There's a lot of drama, actually. And so now we're getting ready to get to the NES version of Tetris. So back to the game. Sega lost its rights at the Mega Drive. Got very popular in Japan. Do you play each version as it goes? You do, and that's what I kind of have been doing. So Tetris cleans up. There's some legal issues. And then we're talking about, and then Alexei Pajitnov, the creator of Tetris, gets to go to Japan.
It was another lifestyle.
Well, there's Alexei and Hank Rogers, the two guys who kind of made it happen. I still need to watch the Tetris Apple special. I haven't done it yet. The Tetris movie or whatever.
Was kind of
but it's kind of cool seeing these pictures from like the 80s and just be like, this is game history. I am intrigued. I'm very intrigued, actually.
Very polite, very kind and
everybody's so nice too.
We did have a good conversation. He
started with
apologizing that was a small kind of bug.
We haven't gotten to the Game Boy one yet.
Tetris, something with the probability of the pieces.
We 1989, but we're getting close.
How we fix it and decide to fix it, and then he gifted me with the electronic organizer. Absolutely stupid device of this time, but it was very fashionable.
You remember the little organizers?
Calculator with the small screen, which you could put schedule on it.
I used to have a couple of those.
Something which died maybe 4 months after that.
Basically.
but I still keep this.
Mine ended up in the garbage.
This strange device somewhere.
That was my Russian accent.
What was it?
It's not great, but
it was about maybe 30
I like Alexei's voice though. It's like this nice
and
deep.
Everybody was impressed about this meeting, and I still don't understand why. But what I was really impressed is to visit their warehouse. Huge
but to think of how new video games are.
700 yards long, filled up with Tetrises. If you could imagine your creation in this amount, you won't sleep the next night for sure. That's how I remember Kyoto for myself.
So you got to go to Japan, Tetris for the Game Boy. Do I get to I probably don't because it's on the
console versions were never quite as good as the Game Boy version.
The Game Boy version was
Yeah,
the
I think
definitive
Game Boy
version
Tetris
of
for me was,
Tetris.
like, the
Tetris.
game that I
Tetris.
played the most.
Tetris.
I think it was such a game changer, right?
I have
'Cause we're already
the
playing
cartridge around here
Famicom,
somewhere.
like,
I should have
NES
grabbed it
type
before I
games at
started
home,
stream.
But then now you can take that everywhere. I remember like going to Disneyland or
I
going
actually,
on trips, and we would have the Game Boy. We would link it
not
up
a lot
and
of
play
gaming.
together.
There's a lot of
Game Boy
learning,
looks for me
JJ.
like a device
And
for
I could.
Tetris, you know.
This is what pads it out to make it a
With the
longer
small
than
screen with the good
30-minute
resolution.
game.
Buttons work well. Music.
And you
was
wanted the Just
excellent.
Chatting stream, didn't you,
I
JJ?
did play Mario on it, but Tetris is much better on the Game Boy, at least.
The
for my
guy
opinion.
who made Tetris
People
liked
think the Game
Tetris
Boy
better on the Game
version
Boy.
was probably the perfect game.
Ah. The Tetris music. I love it.
And I do remember that once it was a Tetris competition, and some schoolboy came to me to sign the cartridge.
That's
I
so
signed
cool.
and he is glued into the Game Boy. I was very impressed with this. So for me, Tetris is really
That is so
literally
cool.
glued in the Game Boy. So if you remember Game Boy, you can't you can't forget Tetris.
So,
Historically, they
learning
are
about,
together.
despite, having it on so many of the other platforms,
The heart level,
it's
if you push
most
the
best
certain
known for the Game Boy
combination, when you're
version.
booting
That's
up
so
the
funny
game, it
and
goes
interesting
to
to
the
me.
heart levels, and the heart levels are way faster than any other
If you
level.
hold select when you start
It's
the
so
game up,
fast that if your
it
piece
lets you get to
drops,
those.
you cannot reach the side higher than 4 off the bottom. So that's how fast it's going. So if you want to do a Tetris, you need to make the hole in the middle and hope that the long piece comes.
Oh, dang.
Oh, shoot.
I saw so many versions
That's-
on home computers and other devices. So for me as a designer, it wasn't anything really exceptional.
But
it was a really decent, very good version. Probably that was the best version.
I don't have any Tetris merch. Now I'm thinking about it.
Take in account my own computer version.
We played the original,
It was
that one
much
right there.
better for me,
This was, it's like the concept of his original
I made it.
on his computer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, so tangents. Let's skip forward because I know on Tetris Instruments Machine. I don't remember what them. If I could just go to the play games, what was it? It was the Electronica 60. That's what it was on. But yeah, no, I know what the Texas Instruments are. I was trying to think of what it was on here. See, you can go through the Tetris, so we're like 30% through, right? And I haven't actually like explored all of it. But then basically you can go through the history of Tetris at your own pace, learn about different things. I wonder what. Now let's look at here, see what games there's on here. It says Tetris, Tetris Go, more Tetris, Hatris, Tetris 2, more Hatris, Super Tetris 2. It's so funny. I think they didn't put regular Tetris on here because it's on what's it called? Nintendo Switch Online. I don't know why that was so hard for me. Alright, so what I think I might do, have I done the Atari Collection games? Someone mentioned that earlier, and I had not. So that is on my list, as well as there's one about the Prince of Persia that's very similar. So I'm going to look into those, and we might have more educational streams. Maybe doing something like this every once in a while would be fun. Hi Celtic, welcome on in. I don't remember what they called that Prince of Persia one, but apparently it's been out a year. Old School Prince. There you go. So let's... Is this... Okay. Create stacks of identical hats? The Making of Karateka. Thank you, pause button. That's what it's called. Is that Bob Ross? Yes, we'll have music on. Oh, this is that Yoshi's game, right? This is interesting. Do you get rid of hats at all? 5. Interesting. Oh, that's not what I meant to do at all. Interesting. Okay. I get the idea of what Tetris is. The one I want to try, and so there's a bunch of different Tetrises, right? We're going to do Tetris Time Warp. Time Warp Tetraminos, temporally warped Catholic versions of Tetris. We're going to do this. Now that everyone's here. Alright, single player, multiplayer versus game options. We'll keep everything as it is. Oh, okay. Time Warp Score Attack, Modern Marathon, 1989 Marathon. Time Warp Score Attack. Let's do that. We've been doing this. We've been putting it off for so long. We're playing with the Tetris music. Mainly for pause button. I think it was pause button. Oh, didn't mean to double tap that. So now this is going to be Time Warp, which means it's going to switch on us. And based on what we've learned, this could be dangerous. I don't know what it is about this song specifically. I love it. Interesting remix. Oh, my controller is actually played Jason, fun rock cover of the band called Ozma. Ooh, I like the Power Glove version of Tetris. I think it is Power Glove. I don't know. The sound of the box is too squelchy. I understand what you're saying, and I kind of agree. It's like a... I don't understand. But, I forget what I was going to say. I'm going to actually hide that for now. I'm surprised that it hasn't... Anytime that I get a line clear, they're using the HD rumble in the switch to the... that was a bad idea on my end. Okay. Uh-oh. I'm guessing once we clear that... Oh, we're going all the way to 93. Okay. This is incredibly bizarre and I love it. Okay. So we time warp. This one I want to play Pixel on. Yeah, anytime that I, like, if I get a triple, my rumble goes bleep, bleep, bleep. I don't know if you can hear it. Oh, wait, I can't. Oh. Oh snap. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so if you get the suggested objectives done, then you warp forward, and then as you warp forward, you get more points. Interesting. So, y'all ever, like, what was your first Tetris that you ever played? Mine was the Game Boy. It wasn't everybody's, so I'm curious to know. The Game Boy Tetris? Yours was on your mom's phone? Yes. Double. Clear one big bomb. Okay. We got some Game Boys. We got some retro folk. Big bomb is. Christmas 1989. Nice! A Tetris battle phase in college? Interesting. As I said, I played the original Tetris probably the most, but then I played a lot of Tetris Worlds when it came out on the original Xbox. It was one of the first ones that came with my Xbox, that and Grabbed by the Ghoulies. Interesting. And actually, Tetris World was bundled with Star Wars The Clone Wars. I don't think you ever bought Tetris by itself. I bought Tetris Effect Connected for Xbox. Oh, your roommates really love Dr. Mario. Dr. Mario is solid too. One of the conventions that I like to go to has the Dr. Mario Championships there every year, that I've been there, at least. I missed this year because of work obligations. Not sure what that one does. Okay. Wait, it's the same. Okay. How am I meant to do? I haven't had the hold for a while, and now I'm just randomly pressing the hold button. Uh-oh. This could be dangerous. We're heading back to the 80s. 1984. Oh crud. Ah, I missed out. This is definitely probably, if I had to find, well, maybe not this version specifically, but if I had to say a game that is my quote-unquote Zen game, it would be this, or Banjo-Kazooie. But I figure you all already knew that one. Not the original again. Tetris, yeah. Hi, Trident. We're doing Time Warp Tetris. Tetris, what's this called? Tetris Forever came out today. And this is, they have an interactive documentary, which is really cool. We took a break from that to do this, Time Warp Tetris. I'm doing the Score Attack version right now. And it'll give you different versions, like you'll see a retro piece come out, and depending on when it lands will be which version it takes you to. It's a very interesting concept. Oh. Here we go. Heading back to 1993. What a big bomb is. I should have read into the whatever version of Tetris this is. We didn't get that far into the... That one's the one throwing me off. All right. Ooh. Ah! I am no Tetris expert. I will not claim to be. But I am a big fan of this game. Oh no. Back to the 80s. Okay, clear a double. There we go. Now we're back here. I need to figure out this big bomb thing. Oh, I figured out what a big bomb is. I just need to clear it. Ah, we're so close. I figured out how to get a big bomb though. I will know for future reference. I should have seen that square piece coming. Anybody ever watched the old College Humor skit, the Tetris Gods? This is probably dating me a little bit. Ah, okay. Okay, fine. It wasn't playing nice. Let's see. I don't understand what the down is doing. I don't have a system for it. Come on. Oop. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Oh, that's fine. Ah. We're going fast now. I wish I understood what was going on. I don't. No! Panicking. Panicking. Gotta stay calm. Dang, that's so fast. Oh, dang it. Okay. Alright. We're at level 15 right now. Oh, it does a cascade. I got it. I understand that now. When they added gravity. Tetris. Uh-oh. Time to go back in time. To 1983. 84. Dang. Nope, go back. Thank you. Oh, dang. Oh, I'm loving this. It's getting crazy in here. We're at 180. Not what I wanted to happen, but that's fine anyway. Okay. I do appreciate that they keep you basically where you were before. That one will be dangerous later. Alright, let's get some gravity in here. Thank you. Alright, we've got 200 lines now, which I think is good. That's going to take us to Game Boy Tetris? Yeah. Okay. That was not good. Oh, hey. This time warp mechanic is interesting. And that's basically all I can say with it. With the current brain power that's not being devoted to Tetris right now. Okay. Thank you. I wonder if Doug and Obi are Tetris people. I don't know if I know that answer or not. Oh, I won. That's fine. Is it fine? It'll be fine. Okay, this is an arrangement. That's what I wanted. That works. Oh, and then gravity. Fine. Alright, where we going? 93. I like this one. Okay. One of those days, I will get that big bomb. It may not be today, but someday. Although I technically got it earlier. Alright, can we? I've gotten used to the squelching. Does that count for anything? Oh dang. It's so fast. Okay. Oh, it's level 11. I just realized what time it was. I'm not gonna throw because of that. That will probably be closing here soonish. Yes, give me the gravity. Still going. I like Tetris, what can I say? This was a good choice of game today. back to the game. Almost died there. $285. Okay. Okay. Is it gonna get probably at 300 lines get faster? Come on. No. It didn't get that. It didn't go up a level. Oh, hello. Narsalic, thank you for the follow. Yep, he's spinning there. That's fine. There we go. Alright, I need to make... Oh dang, that's not it. Big bomb. Crud. Oh, maniac. Is that a good thing? Got T-spin. Now, if you want to see real Tetris insanity, like Trident Tail, who was in here earlier, does Tetris score tag challenges and such. Could never be me. This could be dangerous. Hey, we found we broke the barrier. Alright, going back. There's the double. Now we're back here. Alright. I have to go in and clear this. Perfect. I don't know if that does anything for me, but it gives me an extra score, I guess. I should have put my heart rate monitor on today. Didn't realize I was going to be playing Intense Tetris. Intense-tris. Ah. We were playing Tetris for 33 minutes right there. Score of 866, 506. I mean, that's not. We'll do AJB. As of right now, it's the type.
Shipwreck lost their mind and just cheered 500 bits.
Shipwreck, thank you for the bits. I appreciate it. Do you want me to do a Bean Boozled? Because every time someone does 100 bits or more, I do a Boozled bit. It's up to you. If not, that's fine too. Because I think that's probably going to be the last thing that I do today. Okay, it's only local. As long as they're not too gross. Okay. We'll do this. I'm gonna. These ones aren't too gross. They're a bunch of different ones, but I don't think they're too gross, personally. So we've got. I'm gonna do this brown one because it's either gonna be liver and onions or cappuccino. If you can see that, it should be a good time. Better that than the buttered popcorn or rotten egg, because I can handle liver and onions. I'm thinking I got the liver and onions. Yeah, there's the onion aftertaste. It's not that bad. But thank you so much for the 500 bits. I appreciate it. And it's almost 11:30. I'm a half hour later than I typically stay. So we gotta raid into somebody. We can't just stop this fun train, right? So, who are we raiding?
Hype train has entered the station and is at level 2.
Dipole?
Thank you.
We got a hype train going. Thank you for the.
Just dropped 5 tier 1 subs and has gifted 16.
Thank you so much for the gift subs. I appreciate that. I do feel kind of adrenaline from that, if that means anything. I've got I'm still chewing. What is this game called Mouthwashing? Because I saw Kurek was playing it. This person named Willow's streaming it. Josh Jeffson's playing Astrobot today. Gigglepuss Gang's doing Supermarket Simulator. Jeff Brutleg's doing the new Quiet Place game. We've got Brothership. Excuse me. Alright. Well, actually, I see that Grumpy Queen is streaming. It's been about 3 hours. I don't know if they'll still be. I just saw one of your gift subs, Dipole, went to them. So, let's go there. Anyway, should we wait for this hype train to die down before we raid out? Or should I just raid out? This was a good stream. Between the Tetris documentary, playing that Tetris Time Warp. There's a multiplayer mode, by the way. So, if Pixel gets this game, I'll have to stream with them at some point. That might be what we have to do. But if you're not part of, let's see, my Discord is listed in !Discord. I don't have my Blue Sky linked anywhere, I don't think. He gets the Tetris game and I get the fast food game. I say that's a fair trade, except the Tetris game is a lot more expensive than the fast food game. And that would be a fun one. I think we should play it at some point. Because I don't think that the Supermarket Simulator was that expensive, or not Supermarket Simulator. I don't think the Fast Food Simulator was that expensive, was it? I don't remember. Because I remember looking at it. But it's always been a joke about how Pixel's one big game is Tetris. He's like a master at it. Oh yeah, this is a little bit more than that. But it's because it's basically its own documentary, plus it has a bunch of different versions of Tetris on it. How many times can I say Tetris in a sentence? Well, when you're playing a game about Tetris, probably a lot. But yeah, no, that was good. Whiskey Smash, Spencam, Kaminagi Owl, Earth to Hunter, and Grumpy Queen all got subs from Dipole's gift sub bomb, which, again, thank you so much. We got the hype train to come into the station just a little bit before I left. That's what he says. It was like how Pixel's game was Tetris, JJ's was Uno. I don't remember what mine was, supposedly. Banjo, I guess. Although it's not really a competitive game. Unless you're talking the multiplayer in Banjo-Tooie, which I still need to talk to Josh about playing at some point. I mean, yeah. Yeah, that's good stuff. But no, again, thank you so much. Not just for the sub bombs or the bits, but also the raids, the lurks, the follows, everything. Today was a good day. Getting emotional. But I don't have a planned stream. And what's this week look like for me? I actually don't know. So we're gonna check the calendar while we wait for this hype train to kind of just die down, I guess. There might be a stream Thursday or Friday. I will try.
The hype train just ended at 78% through level 2, and had 1 crazy people participating.
We got a hype chest apparently. What's in the hype chest? I got a chill girl emote. Interesting. I got my first words for myself. I guess I don't really chat to myself. I use the Bundy Bear bot for everything. But we're going to raid into Grumpy Queen. They're playing Dragon Age, the Veilguard. So stick around for the raid. We are, if you've not been in a raid with me before, I will roll the credits. All of the thank yous will be here on the left side, and then in chat, the raid message will be in there as the credits are rolling. Please copy that and paste it into Grumpy Chat's chat when we get over there. Can't wait to see what you can come with us with. Oh gosh. But thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Pushing these the right way. Do I need to say it? Do I need to do it? Take it easy. Steel Dogs thing. Will he dead? Really? Ow. Oh. Ah. Okay. That could be dangerous. Oh no. Oh no, indeed. I'm still inverted. Okay. Spin dash doesn't work for that. Okay.